not only can you do multiple levels of sorting, but you can do multiple levels of filtering or multiple filters. So we're going to create a multiple criteria here. We filtered out females who are between the ages of 14 and 16. And now what I want to do is I only want to see these individuals who also like the activity of dance or volleyball. So pause the video here and see if you can find anyone who mentioned dance or volleyball in their activities. So to do this, I'm going to go ahead and go over to activities on my screen, and I'm going to go ahead and select the drop-down menu for activities. Now, when I select this, I could go through and I could search for dance, and I could check everyone that has dance. I could also search for volleyball, right? Which has everything that has volleyball, and multiple people could put it in different ways. I could also go to text filters here, and text filters allows it to whether or not it contains something. Now, equals would mean that they only put dance or they only put volleyball. We want to include anybody who may have put volleyball at all. So like maybe they like volleyball and soccer. We need to include those people. So we don't want to use equals. We want to use contains. And contains will allow us to choose what it contains. Does it contain dance? Okay. Or does it contain, so I'm gonna hit this drop down menu, choose contain volleyball. Now, right now, I have and selected, and this is an important factor. I have and selected, and if I click OK, it needs to contain dance and volleyball, which means I'm only gonna see people who have dance and volleyball in the activities, which is no one. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to filter this again, go to text filters and go to contains. Actually, I'm going to go back to my custom filter here. And instead of it being and, because it had to have both of the criteria, I'm going to do or. And when I click or, you'll see that a bunch of people will pop up because a bunch of people listed dance or volleyball. They didn't list both, it doesn't look like. So when you use an and versus an or, it makes a really big difference on what you're going to get because it's the criteria that you're meeting. You're meeting both, or you're meeting one or the other, or both, right? So just a feature to kind of talk about when you're talking about filtering and sorting data is that and or option. Okay, so we've got a lot of data here. You've now manipulated this data to see a bunch of different people. Let's talk about clearing that filter again. So right up here, don't forget with sort and filter, you can clear it and you can view everyone back at the same time. The last thing I want to show you is we've got some inconsistencies here with gender, right? We've got female and F for female. We've got male and M for male. What I want to do is I want to replace that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select all of column A. The reason I'm going to select all of column A is because I don't want to replace the word male or female in any other instance on this spreadsheet. I only want to replace it in column A because if you had another word over there that had the word male or female in it, you would be replacing that word in the middle of another word even. So we're going to go ahead and find and replace here. So I'd like you to pause the video here and see if you can find and replace. We've done this in Word before, right? I can go to the Home tab and I can go to my editing group. There's a find and select option. I can choose find and replace. I can also hit Control F on my keyboard, which will open up the find and replace dialog box for me. I'm going to look to find the word male and I'm going to look to replace it with an M. I'm going to replace all and it will replace all of the male words with M. I'm going to do the same thing with female and replace it with F. And hit replace all. Okay, we have an option. We used to have female. Where'd they go? Okay, so I'm going to scroll through and look. Femme. Oh my gosh. We replaced the word male with M, and in the middle of the word female, it replaced male with M. That doesn't work, right? So when you're thinking about this, you need to keep in mind, like, what is it actually replacing? So I'm going to hit Control Z to go back, or my undo button here, and you're going to get those males back. Now, when we do this, I'm going to go ahead and put male here, and I'm going to put M. Instead of just replacing, because it looks like it's going to be replacing in the middle of words too, it's going to take this female right here and make it femme, replacing male with M. I'm going to go to options here, And you can see that you've got formatting options and all these different things, but then you've got this check mark that says match entire cell contents. Well, that means that the cell needs to say the word male all the way. That's all it needs to say. And then we're going to replace it with them. So let's hit replace all this time. And you'll see only 23 replacements got made and my female is still there. So now I can go and choose female and replace it with an F, replace all, and now everybody's been replaced. Click close, and my drop-down menu now only has FM, prefer not to say, and blank if somebody didn't answer the question. And that's how you can use find and replace to get your data to look correct. But keep in mind, it's going to look inside of every cell contents and replace even parts of words.